to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chi Osei. You may know the last name Osei, but you may have not met Chi yet. He is the son of the great Combat Jack, and he is running for political office. Where, Chi?
I'm running for City Council, District 36. That's Crown Heights and Bed-Stuy, a neighborhood that I was raised in. I've seen the changes it's undergone, and I think I am going to be in a role where I'm going to be able to make positive changes in the neighborhood that I grew up in.
And what are some of those changes?
I am going to take a firm stance against police reform. A month ago, I went out for my first protests after George Floyd's murder. I never felt moved to do that prior to that. I am a part of the generation that saw Trayvon Martin get killed and saw George Zimmerman walk for free. And I think that does a lot to Black people in general, but especially young Black men. And I finally felt moved to leave my home during the pandemic and take to the streets and protest. And I remember I was such a rookie at protesting that first day. I came in shorts and I had like a tote bag with like water and chapstick, and I got peppered by the police. And that was obviously painful. I wasn't super surprised with how the police reacted to nonviolent protesters, but being there and having it inflicted on me personally was insane. But it also gave me a fire to go out the next day and the day after that and the day after that. And each day I was going out, I started to find my voice. And not only did I find my voice, people were following my lead. And I've been organizing with other people. I founded an organization of activists called Warriors in the Garden.
I follow y'all on Twitter now, man. Y'all doing good work out here, Warriors in the Garden.
Thank you. We realized that our voices would be louder if they were amplified together. And we've been fighting for legislative change. And after day, as I was going out protesting, I was starting to think of what my next steps would be. And I know how nature runs its course in terms of protesting, and I know that they're going to die down sometime in the future, and realized that I wanted to make change and announce that I'm running for City Council, and that's the change, and that's the step of change that I'm going to take.
And it's District 36.
District 36, that's correct.
Who's in there now?
So Robert Cornegy is the current incumbent. He is termed out. He is not running. He's not able to run for re-election next year. There are rumors that he's running for borough president. I'm currently the first person that has announced that I'm in the race. We're getting rumors left and right of who might enter, but I'm currently unopposed.
And what were you doing? You're remarkably young. You're 21, right? And what were you doing?
I'm 22.
22. So take us through what the last few years have been like for you. Obviously, you had the tragic passing of your dad, which I'm sure really impacted your life a lot, and his sickness. So take us, and you were in school. So just take us through what the last few years of your life has been like, because I know it's been a lot.
Yeah, so my dad passed away in December of 2017, and I was at school at Chapman University, which is in Orange County, California, a very white school. Don't know why I picked that, but I wanted to get far away from home at the time. And my dad passed away, and I took some time off of school, moved back home to just be closer to my family, and never ended up going back. I started working for a restaurant in my neighborhood and was working in hospitality there just to make some money while I was taking some time away from school. And then just realized, and I guess got a little older and realized how expensive school was for my mom, as well as having my other siblings at school, especially my younger siblings, going to private school. And my life felt like it started right there. In terms of being an adult. I think when you're in college still, I don't think you're a full-fledged adult, but I was pushed into that and worked many jobs. I was event producing and party promoting, working for Depop, which is a e-commerce Gen Z app, a bunch of jobs, and realized that I was learning a lot more through work experience than I at school. And this past right before coronavirus or the pandemic hit New York City, I did get laid off, and I was in this state of not knowing where my life would go. I've always been attracted to politics, but never thought that I would be able to run for public office. I think the system is built that way to dissuade people like myself from running for those positions. But I was in this, weird haze or limbo in my life of not knowing what I was going to do next. And I read this book called The Alchemist, which is an amazing book that was just standing out in my apartment throughout quarantine. And it helped guide me through finding where I wanted my life to go. And, these protests happened. Again, I found my voice and found this passion that I haven't felt before. And it's taken me to where I am now. And I think it's going to take me further.
That's amazing. Congratulations, Chi.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man, that's dope. So you spoke earlier about police reform and being an advocate for that. Mm-hmm. What else is on your platform that you're focused on for? And you said it's Crown Heights and
Bed-Stuy.
And Bed-Stuy.
Well, I'm fighting to end qualified immunity. And qualified immunity is an act that protects public officials from being sued by the city. They're held as first-class citizens, even when they commit wrongdoings such as police brutality or murdering citizens. It did just get repealed in Denver. I think New York City is one of the most progressive cities in the world, and I think we can make that happen. That's something that I'm currently working on now. I hope to achieve that before I get into office, but that's something that I'm definitely focused on now. I want to defund the NYPD and reallocate those funds back into communities that they've wreaked havoc upon. I think the budget cut that was passed last week was just the tip of the iceberg. The only thing that's really significant that came out of that is that 1,400 officers were laid off. The NYPD is the fourth largest standing army in the world, and it needs to be defunded at a larger rate. We need to reallocate those funds, invest that into education, invest that into public health, invest that into public housing, and clean up how the city actually should be cleaned up. I'm not just a political figure. I don't want to just be a political figure. I want to be another member of this movement. And I think that's something we've been saying on these streets. It's not a moment, it's a movement. I'm running for this position, and maybe I won't win the seat, but I want to be an inspiration for other people with progressive ideals, other young people that feel the way that I do, to know that they can run for these positions in power. AOC says that it takes 100 of us to try in order for one of us to get in. If I can be that beacon of hope and beacon of inspiration for these other young people, or even older people that have these progressive ideals that don't want to take money from police unions, don't want to take money from large corporations, don't want to take money from real estate companies, then that's something that I want to be. We need to change representation in local city government, and we can do that. If we can do that in the next 8 years, we can start defunding the NYPD, and we can start fixing the city.
You seem more politically savvy than many people who have run for office, namely Kanye West. Do you have an opinion on his presidency for the United States of America?
The only opinion I have on his presidency is that I think white people should stop telling Black people how to vote. I don't know if you've seen this on the internet, but it's all white people like, no, they're taking the Black vote away. They're taking the Black vote away, which is such an issue. They only look at us as people when it comes to voting to elect their white candidates, such as Joe Biden. I am voting for Joe Biden. We need to get Trump out of office. But I don't want white people telling Black people how to vote. And I want the world, and I want Black people to take a deeper look at our local politics more than the circus that is our presidential.
Yo, the presidential thing is a circus, and I will say, and Lauren Rosenberg, I don't know, we've seen this change. It does feel like the local push, at least for us in New York City, has been the last 5 or 6 years, right? Where we've seen some real significant change. Whether it's city council, whether it's Congress people, whether it's the state senate, these other seats, it does seem like there's been a more, and maybe it's because we're giving more space to it, so it's on our radar.
I think that's a big part of it too. We've definitely pushed the conversation forward, and we have many young kids who listen to our show, and even adults that had just never care to get involved, you know? So I think it's important to have these conversations, that have people like you on to discuss what plans you have.
Well,
Like you said, even if it's not this time, next time, but it's a good platform, and it's also you'll be inspiring a lot of other kids to pay attention to what you're doing.
And the Trump thing was just, I think, so you can't just simply accept that Donald Trump is president and be like, oh, well, that's where politics are. Donald Trump's president. I think his presidency, if there's a silver lining, it's so bad that it forced people to go, well, what can we control? And I think that's where we are now, and where we have someone like you now who's able to say, I'm going to step up right now. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to see what else happens, but I can have a significant voice. And I think you can. And I think running, I think you can win. And I think just the fact that you're running, though, can do so much to upstart an entire movement.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, the 2016 was the first. I was 18 at the time. That was the first election I ever voted in. And I distinctly remember that the conversation around that election was get the young people out to vote, get the young people out to vote, get the young people out to vote. And I think that conversation has shifted over these next 4 years into being who should we vote for, or who should be those names that are on the ballot. And as an individual and as a person that's in this movement, a part of this movement, and someone that's aware of politics as a whole, when we see a politician not listening to our demands, we chant, vote them out, vote them out, vote them out. But the conversation should be who we're voting in. And I'm trying to educate people with my campaign and with Instagram and with these tools that are technology that I've been raised to use to educate people of how politically active they can be and how realistic this change can come, how we can change the reality of this mess that we're currently in.
Chi, your Instagram and social media and all that, what should people be following out here?
My Instagram is OSSE2021, so that's OSSE 2021. And that's the same for my Twitter. I'm currently still working with the campaign finance board on being able to accept donations. So I'm not accepting donations just yet. But if you go to my website, OSSE2021.com, you can sign up to my newsletter and you'll be informed of when I'm able to accept donations.
Okay. I'll be donating. I got you.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I got you, Shane. Keep going, bro. We're proud of you, man. Keep pushing.
Congratulations, man. Very exciting.
Thank you very much. Let's change New York City. We can definitely do it. All of us can. It's not an age thing. It's being active. It's being aware of the state of politics and taking charge.
Chi Osei.
Thank you, man.
Osei 2021. Thank
Bye,
you,
guys.
man.
Thank
All
you.
right, cheers, man.
Bye.